What's up, YouTube? My name is Kaya Khala and I go by the alias Kim, which is QHIIIM, and I go by the alias mainly because white people just do not know how to pronounce my government. And welcome to the first ever trading recap. I repeat, welcome to the first ever trading recap. I'm so excited. Today we're gonna be going over the trade that I took on July 1st, 2026. What went wrong, what went right, what can I do better, and what I'm taking on as a lesson moving forward. And with that being said, it's drum roll. Let's just get into it. First things first, before I get into anything else, here's the P&L. This is not to flex with like the cash or whatever on some real nigga shit. So on the day that I took this trade, I made about $6.29 instead of $170. Right, and that's only because I just forgot to size up. As you can see here, it's a 0.01 lot size instead of I don't know, 0.40 lot size, zero point 0.5 lot size. And that's a simple mistake, honestly. And I wasn't going to let a simple mistake cost me more than it should have. But yeah, going on forth from this place onwards, I know now to size up instead of making the same mistake over and over and over again and then not, accumulate proper profits or profits that are of significance. But hey, this is not about money, honestly. It's about predicting where the market is going to go. And I did that successfully. That's why I'm not so butthurt about this amount. And plus, I also know I'm going to make more. So yeah, it doesn't even matter to me. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into the chart. Let us take a moment to acknowledge how beautiful this setup is. Right? And let's just look at this, just for 5, 6, 7 days. Look at the setup that I executed on gold during New York session open. Right, this absolutely beautiful of a setup. The first thing that I looked at, or the first thing that I wanted to identify, was the high time frame bias. Right, and for me to identify the high time frame bias is that I have to go to the high time frame in it. And I specifically went to the 1 hour time frame to see what price is doing on the 1 hour time frame, and I saw that, oh, on the 1 hour time frame, we are bullish. We are bullish. So bullish, in fact, that we are disrespecting these bearish key levels and in turn forming these bullish key levels to which price action later respected. Right? As we see here, market, price action, whatever terminology you want to use, price is retracing off of this. Right? So I went to the 50-minute time frame, lower time frame, whatever. Right, so that we have this 50-minute fair value gap sponsored by this 1 hour fair value gap to which price is also respecting, which further gives me more conviction. Is conviction the right term? I don't know. I need to study these words because I just be using words sometimes, you know. And I see that, okay, we were tracing this is a respected key level, and now the only thing that's left for me to do is find a confirmation standpoint, which is an IFEG, right? So I have to look into the lower time frame to identify and mark my inverse fair value gap. I go to the 5 minute time frame. I see that we do not have an inverse fair value gap, and instead we have this low range liquidity that is accumulating here, to which we are going to trade towards, not against. We never trade against low range liquidity. We always trade towards it. Right. So I go to the lower time frame because we do not have the inverse fair value gap that I was looking for to act as a confirmation standpoint. Go to the 3 minute time frame. I see that, oh, we still do not have that, so on to the next. Go to the 2 minute time frame. Oh, on the 2 minute time frame, we do have an inverse fair value gap, in fact, right, which is right here. And I go even lower because I didn't take this. I didn't execute this trade on the 2 minute 2 minute time frame. I executed it on the 1 minute time frame. So we'll go lower, which is the 1 minute time frame. Right, I see that. Oh, we have this absolutely perfect, this absolutely beautiful inverse fair value gap, and then after I see that, okay, we have a confirmation standpoint and mark my levels, my break even, my TP, New York session buy side liquidity, which was my target in it because I knew it was gonna sweep that New York session buy side liquidity since we manipulated to this downwards after this accumulation phase, right? And the only thing that was left for me to do was just let it play out. Played out. Touched my broke through my break even level, and as soon as we broke through the break even level, I just moved my stop to break even, and then after that it was just a risk free trade. Right, so I just let it run. I just let it run, and then we just hit TP like that, boom. And then we also hit this low range liquidity, which is why you do not trade against low range liquidity, because if you do trade against low range liquidity, you're going to get stop rated right here. With that being said, you know what I'm saying? With that being said, this was an A plus setup, honestly. With that being said, and all of that being put out of the way, out the way, off the way, whatever, right? What I've learned from the setup that I took today was that I wasn't prepared enough to be able to size up, and now I've learned that, okay, I need to be at least 5 minutes, 6 minutes prepared so that I can size up way before I even execute the trade, because I didn't have time to execute the trade. I did have time to execute the trade, but it's just that I didn't look at the trade. I was like so under pressure that I just executed, right? The thing about trading is that it's genuinely not about, you're not numb. You don't get numb to losing. You don't get numb to like the the the, the profits floating or whatever. No, you still feel all of that nonsense, but you just have to install rules that you have to follow regardless of how you feel in order to be profitable. And this is my journey to becoming a profitable trader, which I already am. You have to think you are what you're not to become what you want to become. But yeah, so I learned that I just have to be more prepared. Um, adjust things way before I even execute. I don't like using buy limits. I have bad habits, not bad habits. I have a bad experience with buy limits, to which market will go to my buy limit and not even fill it and then just go my direction. And I'm not gonna fucking remake mistakes over and over and over and over again. I'm gonna learn from those mistakes and then I'm gonna adjust it into such a way that I'm not gonna make those mistakes over and over again. But this was a simple mistake, and I wasn't gonna let a simple mistake cost me more than it should have. And I've learned from the mistake. Just be more prepared. Size up before you even, not size up. Adjust the size of the lot size and the percentage that you're gonna risk way before you even enter into the trade, and then after that you execute. Plan, then execute. With that being said, my name is Kaya Halakala and I go by the alias Kim. So because white people just do not know how to pronounce my name, and that's all you're gonna get from me for today. Out.